One of the things that I've learned is that there are some cool practices that other school systems are taking on. I'm like, man, I want to do that. And so just kind of we're wired to think that, well, if we just follow their behaviors, then we'll be like that. And what I quickly found out, I really learned it whenever I was a campus principal. I want to be like that campus, and I would try to just follow whatever that principal was doing. And it never turned out well. Like, what am I missing here? And so as I talk to other folks who are looking at Leander, and again, I am careful to say we are not perfect. We're not anywhere near it, but we certainly take our culture very seriously. So folks say, well, how do we? Man, we want to do culture. We want to do culture like Leander does culture. So we're going to start by doing this, and that, and it never. I've seen it just not take hold with any kind of with any roots. And it's because they're trying to grow the grass without the roots that are behind it. The reason that any of this works in our school district is because it has taken years to evolve into what it is. It is very much an owned process by us. We are so proud of being part of Leander ISD. And frankly, we guard it and we treasure it and we hold it near to our souls and our hearts. And because we have that much ownership in what's gone on. We have years worth of continuing to focus on the graduate profile and on those things in the learning model and in process improvement teams, and we've been part of creating these new things that we've added into the mix. And the reason that it stayed and the reason that it's continuing to evolve in a largely positive way is because we own it. We love it. It's not something that's not a phrase that I toss around lightly. I truly love Leander ISD. And as you've gotten to know people from the school district, I would predict that you've seen that as well from everybody who sat in this chair, is they love this school district.
A teacher can create the exact same experience within their own classroom, even if the school that they work in doesn't get it. Or a whole school can become an oasis within a district that doesn't have the same philosophy or attitude. And so the biggest mistake that people make is to not start. I often joke with the administrators in Leander because when we started here, they said, well, how do we start? And so I have a little flow chart, and the first box in the flow chart says start, and the second box in the flow chart says don't stop. And then there's a line that goes from the second box up to the top box again. So it's a loop or a process. And when you think about it, there is no recipe for starting, okay? And even today, no matter what organizations I start to work with, they want to know who else is doing this, and can we go visit them, and can we copy them? And we often find that even if you do go and visit and copy, you don't even know what you're seeing. I was in a different state, and I happened to mention something about Leander, Texas, and some of the things that they were doing, and a teacher came up to me during the break, and she said, you know, we took a team of teachers and we went to Leander to their two-day conference, and she said, and then we got the opportunity to go visit classrooms. And this year 3, third grade teacher was telling me that, she said, you know, I've taught year 3 for almost 20 years. And she said, I went to Leander and I was in a third grade classroom for most of the day, and she said, I came away from that thinking, I don't even know what was going on there. So just looking at a model doesn't help you unless you really understand the theory behind what it is that's going on there. And what she was actually seeing was a great amount of student ownership and process, and how that was being transferred to the students. And sometimes that's difficult to see or to understand. Or sometimes people come to visit a place like Leander and they look in the windows and they say, I don't get it. You have desks and chairs and you have a teacher and students, and those are the same things we have. What's the magic here? Well, unless you're in that class day after day after day and see the process unfold from the beginning to the end of the year, you probably won't understand the process and how that works through.
So at the end of the day, why you can't just go take something and just copy the actions is because if there's not heart and soul behind it, if it's not truly a way of life for you, it's just more motion. The difference between motion and action so often is heart and soul.